Welcome, former CBP Acting Commissioner Mark Morgan. It's great to have you back on, sir. Your reaction to what Senator Kennedy just said?
He's absolutely spot on, Liz. I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. Look, this president in the first few weeks of administration has systematically removed and dismantled every effective tool that we had in place to address the illegal immigration crisis, and it was successful under any measure. And right now, the paradigm has completely shifted. We are seeing the United States now encourage, facilitate, and incentivize illegal immigration, and then removed ICE's authority to deport them lawfully. And we're wondering why now we're seeing crisis level numbers, almost 5,000 apprehensions a day, and they created this.
President Biden calls it, quote, Neanderthal that Texas and Mississippi lifted their mask mandates. His team continues to deny and claim no crisis at the border, saying it's just a challenge. It's a crisis when you have shelters built for 700 now holding more than 2,000. So that's a crisis. It's not a challenge, just a challenge. CNN is still using that semantics that it's a challenge. No, it's a crisis when you jam that many people into a facility like that. So, you know, we have the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, saying your border policies, Mr. President, are Neanderthal. You're releasing illegals with COVID-19 into border states like Texas. Listen, America's a humanitarian country, but this is next level stuff happening. Your reaction?
Yeah, Liz, again, you're absolutely right. So is the governor. I would say 5,000 apprehensions a day is absolutely a crisis. I would say that in February, we're going to look at probably over 100,000 illegal entries in a single month, 9,000 UACs. I could keep going. You betcha it's a crisis. And the current secretary of DHS stood on the White House platform and lied, blatantly lied to the American people and saying that this is not a crisis. And he should be ashamed of himself. And Liz, he owes the hardworking men and women of CBP on the front lines of this country protecting our borders. He owes them an apology because they're having to deal with the crisis DHS created.
You know, we're seeing, let's bring in, can we go to now Sheriff Mark Daniels? I'd like to bring Sheriff Daniels in on this conversation, if we could bring in the sheriff. Sheriff, what do you make of what's happening here with what's going on with the border crisis?
Well, thanks, Liz, and thanks, Mr. Morgan, for having me on. Let me just say this. This is an orchestrated plan by political design and ideology. Mr. Morgan's right. We have worked collectively to bring our southwest border to the best position it's been in years and decades. And to see these erosion of policies and programs is truly, truly going to affect the public safety, the national security, humanitarian, and let's not forget the pandemic that we're in right now. And it was not designed to work with local and state officials because we have not been contacted to say, hey, what do you think is best? So we're in trouble here on the southwest border, Liz.
All right, Sheriff, sit tight there. Mark, let's listen to Joe Biden. The White House cut his feed at a presser when the president said, let's take questions from reporters, but suddenly his feed got cut. Let's watch this soundbite.
So I want to thank you all. I really mean from the bottom. I want to thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm happy to take questions if that's what I'm supposed to do, Nance, whatever you want me to do.
Okay, Mark, he hasn't had a presser in a month and a half. He's not taking questions from reporters, Mark Morgan. What do you say to that?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say what Sheriff Daniels just said. Hey, Mark, it's good to see you. He's spot on. Look, I think that's disheartening because we should be asking some serious questions. And we should be hearing from the president himself on the crisis that he's created at this border. In what world, I wish somebody would ask, in what world does it make sense as our schools are not open, our businesses are not open, people do not have jobs, and less than 8% have got vaccine shots in the shoulders. But he thinks this is the time to open our borders, tell everybody come, reinstate, catch and release, and release people in the interior United States. I'd like somebody to ask the president, and I'd like to hear from him directly to see how he explains that.
Okay, Mark, thanks for joining.
Thanks for watching the Heritage Foundation's YouTube channel. With more than 500,000 members, we are the nation's largest conservative research and education institution. We believe the principles and ideas of the American founding are worth conserving and renewing. Please help us further our mission by subscribing to this channel and sharing our videos with your family and friends.